Many people believe that organic production means very weedy fields and a lot of impurities. For all wheat, including wheat in conversion and from risk zones, we had no additional field operations between sowing and harvest. Hello and welcome to the Login Eco Farm in Novi, Kneževac. In the 2025 season, on 3,250 hectares of arable land, we grew wheat, spelt, oats, flax, peas, chickpeas, and sunflowers. In this video, we'll show our natural yields, the percentages of foreign matter, the quality parameters, and the number of operations we carried out between sowing and harvest for each of these crops. This season, we had 243 hectares of organic wheat. Our natural yield was 5.3 tons per hectare. And what's important to mention, for wheat, we didn't choose varieties with the maximum potential yield. Instead, we chose varieties that can deliver the quality needed so that all of our wheat ends up in human nutrition. We had 0.2% foreign matter, and today we decided to talk to you about how much foreign matter, or total impurities, we have, because we want to break the myth that in organic production, the fields must have high weed pressure and high levels of impurities. Foreign matter includes small stones, soil, weed seeds, seeds of other crops, and insects. While total impurities also include broken kernels, smaller seeds, immature kernels, and similar material. In addition to organic wheat, we had 161 hectares of wheat in conversion and wheat from risk zones. Wheat in conversion is grown organically, but the field itself has not yet completed the conversion period, so the product therefore still doesn't have organic status. Wheat from risk zones comes from parts of our fields located next to our conventional neighbors. There is a risk of contamination there, and we never mix that product with organic produce. On those 161 hectares, our yield was 4.3 tons per hectare, while foreign matter was 1.5%. My colleague Stefan will tell you a bit more about the quality parameters for all of our crops.
Since we produce exclusively for human consumption, our customers' requirements and market requirements are higher than the standard quality parameters we're used to. Most of our produce end up on the European Union market, more specifically in countries such as Germany, Austria, the Czech Republic, and the Netherlands. To classify wheat as good milling wheat, the protein must be over 12%. This year, we achieved an average protein content of 13.4%, and the highest protein content was 13.9% in one field. Among the other quality parameters, I would highlight hectoliter mass. Standard market requirements are 76, while we achieved an average of 78.5 kilograms per hectoliter.
Our production is fully organic. We use neither mineral fertilizers nor pesticides. In this way, we don't pollute the environment and we reduce our costs. We also don't use manure. We provide nitrogen through legumes. If you still haven't watched the video on how we produce environmentally friendly nitrogen, we'll leave the link in the video description so you can do the same on your own farm. An additional factor in our success is that in the past season, we harvested 99% of our areas. Now you'll probably think that we had a lot of additional operations to fight weeds in our fields because we are an organic producer. How else would we fight weeds if we don't use pesticides? To some extent, you're right. For all wheat, including wheat in conversion and from risk zones, we had no additional field operations between sowing and harvest. We grew oats on 850 hectares. The average natural yield was 4.3 tons, while foreign matter was 0.6%.
Most of our oats end up in oat flake production. For that reason, it's important to customers that the grain is larger than 2 millimeters and that the hectoliter mass is above 54. This year, 78% of our oat grains were larger than 2 millimeters, and the average hectoliter mass was around 50. This doesn't worry us too much since it's a parameter we can adjust through post-harvest grain cleaning. And we expect that the product will fully meet our customers' requirements after cleaning.
Across 850 hectares, we didn't carry out any weed control measures. The only intervention applied was a single treatment on 2 smaller fields of 17 and 15 hectares using the product Cumulus, whose active ingredient is sulfur. The treatment was not applied to the entire fields. Only the headlands were treated, so 4 hectares on one field and 3.6 hectares on the other. This targeted application prevented the cereal leaf beetle from spreading from the headlands into the interior of the fields. Products based on sulfur are permitted in organic production. We grew sunflowers on 915 hectares. The average natural yield was 2.1 tons per hectare, while total impurities were 5.2%.
In sunflower, an important parameter is fat content, which is directly correlated with oil content. Market requirements specify a fat content above 44%. On average, we had 44.7% fat, and in one field we achieved as much as 46.2%. This is a success when we consider what kind of a production year we've had behind us.
On 334 hectares, we used the specific rotative weeder, Aerostar rotation. On 574 hectares, we performed 2 passes of inter-row cultivation. On 12 hectares, we carried out 2 passes of inter-row cultivation plus 1 intervention with the comb cut. On 31 hectares, we performed 4 passes of inter-row cultivation. We grew peas on 631 hectares. The average natural yield was 2.6 tons per hectare, while foreign matter was 2.2%.
At the beginning, it's important to note that we grow winter peas exclusively. The protein content in the grain is 18.6%. This is below market requirements, so we are still looking for a buyer who will use our peas for human nutrition. What we do know is that market requirements are a minimum of 25 to 26% protein in the grain for use in protein processing, and this is achieved with spring varieties. For that reason, this year on our trial plots, we're testing a larger number of pea varieties and also testing the possibility of producing spring peas.
Out of 631 hectares of peas, 596 had no additional operations. And only 35 hectares required weed control with the top cut collect implement. We grew flax on 145 hectares. The average natural yield was 1.9 tons per hectare. Total impurities were 10.2%. Why were they so high? In one field, we faced a challenge with volunteer rye, where the total impurities reached 50%. Excluding this field, the total impurities was 7.28%, and after cleaning, we managed to reduce it to below 1%.
In flax, as in sunflower, the fat percentage is important. Customers who produce oil require a fat content above 40%. On average, we have 44%. For customers where flax is used directly for human consumption without any processing, purity is the most important factor. This year we got a product with around 10% impurities. After cleaning, we managed to bring it to 99% purity. And since we are in the process of acquiring equipment, we expect to achieve purities of 99.99% next season.
Out of 145 hectares, 110 hectares required only sowing and harvesting, while weed control with the top cut collect was carried out on just 35 hectares. This season we grew chickpeas on 176 hectares. The average natural yield was 1.2 tons per hectare, while foreign matter was 2.6%.
Chickpea is a crop where we're still getting familiar with market requirements. So far, we know that grain granulation is important, typically in the 6 to 8 millimeters range. And for flour production, it can go up to 9 millimeters. It is also important that the hectoliter mass is in the range of 75 to 90. Our product meets both of these criteria.
On 176 hectares, mechanical weed control was performed using the Aerostar rotation rotative weeder after sowing on 63 hectares and with the rotary star after sowing on 176 hectares. Then 2 passes of inter-row cultivation on 133 hectares and 3 passes on 44 hectares. We also treated for the corn or cotton bollworm on 133 hectares. We grew spelt on 93 hectares. The average natural yield was 1.9 tons per hectare, while foreign matter was 0.9%. And for spelt, across all 93 hectares, we didn't have a single operation between sowing and harvest.
As we are largely transitioning to gluten-free production and crop rotation, Spelt is a crop we had this season, but we will not be growing it next season. Customer requirements for unhulled Spelt are a hectoliter mass above 40 kilograms per hectoliter, and for dehulled Spelt, as with wheat, 76 kilograms per hectoliter. At intake for unhulled Spelt, we had an average hectoliter mass of 43.5 kilograms per hectoliter, while on the dehulled sample we had a hectoliter mass of 72 kilograms per hectoliter. Another important parameter for Spelt is protein content. Market requirements are that protein content is above 12%, while we had protein content of 11.6%.
Our sustainable farming model relies on crop rotation. We currently have a 5-year crop rotation and will soon publish a video where you'll also be able to see how to apply a crop rotation that delivers good yields, good seed quality, and preserves soil health. So follow our channel. That's how we do it. What are your yields and your grain quality? Let us know in the comments. Best regards.